Books are full of amazing, life-changing ideas. In the last few years alone, books have had a bigger impact on my life than anything else. But the problem is that most people don't read enough books, and as a result, they're missing out on ideas that could, well, literally change their life. But today, I'm going to give you a few practical tips that are going to allow you to fall in love with reading and allow you to read the most books that you've ever read in your life in this upcoming year. Come on, pop a squat. Or just stand there, all good. Look, I want to quickly cover something before we get into the list, and it has nothing to do with reading more books. And now look, I've left timestamps down below, and if you want to skip over this part and go right to that, go for it. You can be a huge loser, and you can forever join Naved over in the loser section. I just wanted to see the tips. But if you're super cool and you're gonna stick around for this part, join me over here. Oh, wow, that is so much better. God. Hey, welcome to the cool kids section, where the cool kids hang out. Now look, I know you clicked on this video to learn how to read more books, but I want to tell you something. The truth is, you shouldn't try to read more books. And I know that sounds crazy coming from a guy who's literally making this video right now, but hear me out. You shouldn't try to read more books because the truth is, the number of books you read, well, it doesn't really matter at all. In fact, in the last few years, I've made a conscious effort to read fewer books. You see, I used to be obsessed with the number of books that I read so that I could just tell people that I've read that amount of books. But the problem with reading an impressive amount of books is that you usually just have to rush through them to get to the next one. And as a result, I wouldn't even remember what I read in most of them. And that's kind of the whole point of reading. And I'm sorry to have to be the one to break this news to you because I was in your shoes not too long ago. But no one, and I mean genuinely no one, gives a single fuck about the impressive amount of books that you've read. And so read for yourself and no one else. Because I promise you, if you truly do that, you will get more out of books than you ever have in the past. Anyways, thanks for sticking around for this part of the video. Let's get on with the list. In the last couple of years, I've pretty much exclusively read off of my Kindle, and while there's a ton of benefits to this thing, there is one huge benefit to physical books, and that is that they inspire you to read. They look nice, they smell great, they taste great. I leave books lying around everywhere, on my bookshelf, on my nightstand, even in the bathroom. And that's actually the first tip on this list. It's to surround yourself with books. Why? Well, when you're surrounded by books, it's just easier to read. You see, this concept is actually from James Clear's book, Atomic Habits, and he calls it environment design. Essentially what that means is that our environment can actually dictate our choices. And a really easy way to take advantage of this is to just leave books everywhere. The logic is that if you always have books near you, you're pretty much just lowering the amount of effort required to read, and as a result, you'll read more. And now that you've set the stage for your reading habit, let's talk about the single most important factor that's going to allow you to read more books, in my opinion. So I used to go and buy books. I would then rush home, I'd crack that puppy open, I'd read like a chapter or two, and then eventually I'd realize, I don't like this book. But I didn't want to not like the book because I just invested my money and my time into it. And so instead, I'd put the book on my nightstand or my desk or whatever, and I'd tell myself, I'll get back to that book later. Turns out I would not get back to reading that book later because I didn't like it. And so at the end of the year, I'd end up reading like 2 books because the book that I was currently reading, I just didn't like. But one day, I had a realization that changed everything.
When you're a kid, you don't realize you're also watching your mom and dad grow up?
Read the other page, you idiot.
It's okay to quit books. And not only is it okay to quit books, but quitting books is actually the single most important factor for reading more books. And I know that sounds crazy, but what's actually crazy, when you really think about it, is trying to finish a book that you don't enjoy. That's crazy. I promise you, if you do this, if you quit books, you will double, if not triple, the number of books that you read in a year. Because for the first time in your life, you're just going to be reading what you enjoy. You're not going to have to force yourself to finish something that you didn't like in the first place. Now look, I know a lot of you are probably thinking, well, that's great, Devin, but we don't all have 866 subscribers and make millions from YouTube like you do. So we can't just be blowing money on books that we're not going to read. And listen, guys, I get it, right? You don't want to waste money on things that you aren't going to use, right? Wrong. No. I'm here to tell you that you should absolutely, without a doubt, spend money on books 100% guilt-free. I don't care what they cost. Okay, don't go buy a first edition Moby Dick, but within reason. A brand new book in Canada, I literally just bought this book recently, is gonna ring you about, let's see what that says, I think $40, okay? So forget about getting books from cheaper places like the library or getting them online for free or ebooks or whatever. I'm talking brand new, all in, you're looking at like 20 to 40 bucks for a book. Take in what a book really is, at least a good book, right? An author has pretty much dedicated their life to a single field of study. They then dedicated years of their life condensing all that information and summarizing it into a single book that takes you, a reader, 10 hours to read. You get all of that for 40 bucks. Even if there's a single lesson in this book that you can then apply in your life to improve it, this book and that price tag has paid itself off 10 times over. Books are literally worth their weight in gold. Like I have a scale right here, so let's see how much this book weighs. Okay, it's about 1.5 pounds, so let's see what 1.5 pounds of gold costs. Jesus H. Christ. Okay, maybe not worth their weight in gold, but they are still really valuable. So if the price of a book is holding you back from buying one, don't let it. Whenever people find out that I read a lot, they usually say something like, man, that's really great for you, but I'm just not that into reading. Do you have any idea how stupid that is? Seriously, that is the stupidest thing you could say. Like if you told someone that you just ate dinner and they went, man, you know what, it's great for you, I don't really like the whole eating food thing. You'd be like, what the fuck are you talking? That doesn't make any sense. You don't like steak maybe, but you can't always eat steak. You don't like any other foods? That's bullshit. The reason that people say that they don't like reading is because they're not reading what they're interested in. But regardless of what you're interested in, there's a book for you. You into business? Well, there's books on business. You into mindfulness? Well, there's books on mindfulness. You into typewriters? Yeah, I don't have any books on typewriters if I'm being honest, but I got this typewriter for 20 bucks at a thrift shop, and I kind of wanted to just show off to you guys, so yeah. Naval Ravikant said it best, and don't worry, he's much smarter than I am. He said, read what you love until you love to read. That's exactly what you should do, and I don't know if you need my permission, but I'll give it to you anyways. Please don't feel like you have to read the bestsellers list, or what everyone else is reading, or a specific genre, or even what you think you should read. Don't worry about any of that. Just read what you want to read, and eventually you'll love to read. I think people are more loyal to their books than they are to their girlfriends and boyfriends. What they do is they will read the first page of a book, and then they will decide that this is the only book that they will read until they finish it. But that's really stupid, because what ends up happening is when they're not in the mood to read this book, they just don't read at all. And listen, I love me some Tim Ferriss. I really do. But do I only ever want to read Tim Ferriss? Fuck no. And that's okay, because you can read Tim Ferriss and Alex Hormozy and Dale Carnegie and John Steinbeck and Mark Manson. You can read them all at once. And that's what I do. And you should start seeing other books as well. Instead of being tied down to a single book, give yourself the option to switch back and forth between multiple books whenever you want. When you start reading multiple books at once, what's gonna end up happening anyways is that you're gonna like one of the books better than you like the other books that you started reading. But that's okay, because this tip isn't so much about reading multiple books as it is just giving yourself the option to switch books if you want. But guys, I have a confession to make. I used to gatekeep reading so hard. I thought that physical books were the only type of reading that actually counted. I thought Kindles were stupid. I thought audiobooks were stupid. I thought it was all stupid. What I've realized as time has gone on is that there are really two purposes to reading, either to learn something or to enjoy yourself. And so regardless of how you are engaging with a book, as long as you're doing one of those two things, I'm cool with it. Because at the end of the day, the best way to read is to read whatever medium interests you the most. If you want to read physical books, go for it. If you prefer audiobooks, great. If you want to inscribe rolls of toilet paper with the contents of the book, I mean, you're weird, but go for it. At the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is that you're reading books. So read books, however you like to read books, as long as you're reading books. Naved, you want to end the video for us? If I do that, can I come to the cool kids section? Sure. Oh, great. Okay, cool. Look, now that Devin has shared with you some ways to read more books, you're probably looking for a book to read, right? Well, if that's the case, you're definitely gonna wanna check out this video right here. Devin goes over 5 lessons that he learned from one of his favorite books this year. Can I come over now? Oh, yeah, no, dude, I'd love for you to come over here. Just the video's about to end, so I don't... Oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Oh, shit. Okay, gotta go. Have a good one, guys.